people understood existence, you wouldn't need to believe in anything. Because everything exists. That's God. Existence itself. Right? Whether it's the devil, that's still God. Everything is God. Right? If people understood existence, there would be no room for belief. And people would not be living in conflict and resistance. But duality, they think that it exists, so that creates their resistance and conflict in life. That's why they feel separated, fighting. So everything exists. Happiness, sadness, sorrows, and we know this because we experience it, right? Everybody experiences all these things. So duality is separating these things. And when you do that, you separate your minds and causes conflict instantaneously. Because now that we separate these things, we call one side negative and one side positive, right? And people know that you're not happy all day. And so you're constantly chasing this feeling of happiness. Never stillness. This is where the belief in God comes in, to fulfill the void in the middle. Because one's negative and one's positive. And since you always can't be happy, well, what happens when you're just conscious, when you're just here? There's no stillness, right?
Yes.
There's no awareness. So you need something to fulfill that void. But if you have ever experienced the void and that stillness, you would never leave it. And then you're both positive and negative would leave, and there's no more conflict. But people, they fill that void with a belief in God because they don't understand what it is, obviously. Because if they need a belief, that means they don't understand it, so they need to believe in something. Because if they're not this and they're not that, of course, nobody wants to suffer. When people suffer, why? Because they don't know what suffering is. They don't know what causes suffering. And so people suffer. If they understood what suffering is, then they would never suffer. It's impossible to suffer when you know what it is, right? Like, if you knew that fire burned, would you go put your hand in the fire? No, why? Because you know that it burns the shit out of you. So if you knew what suffering was, because if you took the time to sit in its existence instead of trying to escape its existence, then you would understand it. But people live in fear in their minds. They don't want to. It's because they were taught that's negative. And so they run to their belief, to a God, to give them comfort and security. And this is what keeps people ignorant. Not facing life. Running to your belief to give you comfort and security. You create all these problems in life. And then you run to God and say, oh God, okay, give it all to God, you fix it. Like if other people did something wrong, and nobody ever looking at themselves but running to God and say, here, you fix it, I don't know what to do no more. And people stay ignorant in that state over and over again because they never face their guilt. They never face the shame. They never stop lying. They never sit in stillness and face their ego. But nobody ever looks in on their own life. That's why most people just stay ignorant and stay believers. They're never knowers. Knowers of life. And knowers of life live in awareness. The only thing they know is themselves. And that's the only thing you're supposed to know.
Know thyself.
Know thyself. It didn't say know the whole world,
No.
did it?